To God be the glory in the highest. I greet every one of you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Our subject of discussion today is refuting one of the supposed contradictions in the Bible. And today we want to examine an important topic. Now, the question that non-Christian asks that they see as a form of contradiction is that the woman that went to the tomb of our Lord Jesus Christ, did they told Jesus Christ's disciple everything they were told in the tomb, or they did not tell them? Now, number one, Matthew chapter 28 verses 8. Matthew chapter 28 verse 8 said that the woman hurried away from the tomb and ran to tell his disciples everything they were told. Number two, Luke chapter 24 verses 9 said the woman went away from the tomb and told all what they have seen to the 11 and to the others that are with them. While Mark chapter 16 verses 8 said the women were trembling and bewildered, and the women went out and fled from the tomb, and they said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. So the question now is that the non-Christian now said that Mark chapter 16 verses 18 is contrary to Luke chapter 24 verses 9 and Matthew chapter 28 verses 8. That it means that Mark is trying to tell us that the woman did not tell the 11 and others that are with Christ. I'm happy to tell you today that what Matthew chapter 28 verse 8 said, that the woman went to tell Christ's disciple. Disciple is made up of the 11 apostles. You know that Judas Iscariot is not one of them, and other disciples that have been following Christ. Other disciples is not only 11 disciples that Jesus Christ have. Jesus Christ have many disciples, but have 11 apostles and other disciples. So what Matthew chapter 28 verses 8 means is that the woman went to tell all his disciples. And also Luke chapter 24 verses 9 said they went to tell the 11, which means the apostles, and others, which means other disciples. But what Mark chapter 16 verses 8 mean is that on their way in the book of Matthew chapter 28 verses 11, Matthew chapter 28 verse 11 said that the women, when they are going, they saw some watchmen. Those watchmen that they have sent to the tomb to watch over the tomb, they saw them. Those are the one that the women did not tell anything about what they are told in the tomb. So what Mark chapter 16 verses 8 means is something very different. It means that those women did not tell the watchmen that they met on their way while coming from the tomb, because they were afraid. Because as you can see in Mark, that is found in Matthew chapter 28 verses 11. Matthew chapter 28 verse 11 said, let me read it. Now when they were going, which means when the women were going, behold, some of the watchmen came into the city. The watchmen are around the tomb, and they now come to the city. They met them on the way. Those are the ones that the women did not tell anything about what they are being told by the angels in the tomb. But that does not mean that Mark chapter 16 verses 8 means the women did not tell the disciple. You can see that in Mark chapter 16 verses 8, it was not said that the women did not tell the disciple anything because they are afraid, but they don't tell the watchmen that are around the tomb anything that they were told because they were afraid. And also in the book of John chapter 20 verses 19, John chapter 20 verses 19, it was said that the disciples assembled in a room with the door shut because of the fear of the Jews. So the fear, what makes those women afraid to tell the watchmen they saw, is because they were, number one, they were afraid of the watchmen, because the watchmen were sent by the Jews and the priests. So what Mark chapter 16 verses 8 meant that when the women left the tomb, they did not tell anyone, they said nothing to anyone. Means that they did not say anything to the watchmen. That does not mean they did not say what they saw to the disciples of Christ and the apostle of Christ. God bless you. Jesus only can save.